audio anyway. One Piece, chapter 1163. Okay, first of all, cover. I like it. Okay. Monkey D. Luffy swinging around, jumping on the roofs with the monkeys. It's amazing. Who doesn't like it? Who wouldn't like it? I think the penguins is still my favorite cover photo. I'm not going to lie to anybody here. Top cover. Okay. So the chapter starts off where the last one left off, as do most chapters. And Saint Saturn is towering over the entire battlefield in the middle of God Valley in the center of the island. Okay. And what does he say? Nuisances. Okay. And I was surprised to see the tattoos, okay, like kind of unravel. That shit was kind of crazy. Didn't expect that. And not only does he do that, but he uses them to attack his own crew. So, I mean, not his own crew, his own army, his own team, allies, right? The Marines. This is what he's using it for. And that's kind of like not a surprise, but what follows next is more of a surprise because Garp kind of gets his stripes and stuff like that here. Okay, and I know, before I keep going right here, let me just say, I know Garp has been a big thing for me, and I know I've seen a lot of other people questioning it and wondering too, but Garp, I needed a better reason for him to stay where he is, for him to be a Marine still, and for him to not want to be changing anything, and not using his power to change more after he sees and knows the extent of what the Celestial Dragons and the world government and the Navy has done. Like everything they've done and can do and will do. After he's seen all of that, like, you know, watching Dragon go through it, it's kind of, and you know, I don't even know the word. What's the word? Like, it's kind of like it's highlighted it even more. It's made it a bigger question than it ever was. Because it's like, yo, Garp, that's his father. You know, Dragon's father is Garp. Dragon at a young age is going through a situation similar to something that Garp probably has. Now, apparently, you know, he's never seen Imu before, and you know, he probably Garp didn't know that they were killing people and doing all this sort of shit to this extent, like they're doing on God Valley, because he's made comments like that already, like, yo, I didn't know all of this was going on. So maybe you can give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe his Marine life was completely different. We'd have to see Dragon's Marine life from a little bit earlier, and we'd have to see Garp's Marine life from around Dragon's age. But before I digress too far, yeah, my whole point is Garp and the way he acts in this chapter, and you know, seeing these injustices and saying, like, you know, fuck that, I'm just gonna do what Garp does and act upon my own justice. It's a little redeeming for his character and like his point of view and all of this, right? I still would like to know more, but like I said, I digress. So they're all getting attacked by Imu, and the Marines tell them to withdraw, so they don't even know what to do. And you know, even some of Roger's crew is getting attacked by Imu. Okay, Roger tells them to get up, get out of here. Gabon, help them guys, get out of here. I'm going in. So Roger wants to fight Imu. Okay, he wants to take a swing at him. He wants to fight him. And, you know, obviously, he's going to encounter the big three of this era when he goes over there. So, well, I don't know what's going on in my background video. Ignore that. So, you, the King of Rats, that title right there, I've heard a couple people mention something similar, because when I seen it, I kind of thought like, yo, I know a couple of Rat King concepts being used in different pieces of fiction and media, and they all kind of have a similar effect, or like what do you say? They're similar use in the story, right? So when he's talking about Imu being a Rat King, and I immediately thought the same thing. I've seen people say in videos already, so it's not like I'm, acting like I thought of this first. But the idea of Emu being this being or this creature that like kind of relies on support of the fellow quote unquote rats for power. Like he alone isn't strong. He needs this system of like, like how he has all these puppets and things under his control and all that sort of stuff. Maybe that's why he has power, because so many people have bent the knee to him. I don't know. It could be a whole thing like that. So maybe we're going to find more out about this Rat King thing, or maybe it's not really a big thing at all. Maybe he's just calling him that because he's living in the shadows. I don't know, but I doubt it. I doubt that's the reason why. Okay. I like the first theory better. But anyway, Davy Jones. He calls Rocks, or Zebek. He calls Zebek Davy Jones, okay? And he says, you got the wrong guy. I never met him. Obviously, he's going to say that, right? So I was wondering if this whole time, if somehow Zebek was like a reincarnation of Davy Jones. It's not like what I've been thinking this whole time, like as a guaranteed thing, but it's been a little side thought, like, hey, what if Zebek was a reincarnation? Similar to how Luffy might be a little bit of a Joy Boy reincarnation, or at least the person that mirrors him in this era, a reincarnation in spirit. Maybe not exactly like flesh and all that sort of shit, right? But he's just the person who's like mirroring him in this era, right? But maybe he's not. Maybe it's just the will, okay? Maybe this has something to do with the will of D. I don't know. Because he says the promises are meant to be kept, okay? And that's why Imu says that's exactly why your kind must be erased from my world, okay? So I think this reflects on the whole idea of the enemies of God. So you got the Davy clan and the Will of D members. The Davy clan and the Will of D aren't completely disconnected. They definitely have something to do with each other. I'm not about to speculate on here. We could do that all day. We've all seen the theories. We all got our own theories. But I think slowly, as we see Imu speak more and more, we're going to really get those pieces, those little golden nuggets to tell us exactly what's going on here, man. Because like the Davy clan just being dropped on us like this, first of all, the big jump in like shining the light on all of these secrets that we have in the One Piece world. So, and there's a lot of things that Imu say that you can just sit and pick apart. Like the way he's referring to himself as he's talking about my world, and like the Davy clan, obviously we know that's part of the ancient enemies that he has and all that. But yeah, anyway, we go here to Garp. Best moment of the chapter. The building up right here with Garp saying, I'm going to help. They question, help who? Like, like our guy is winning. Like, what do you mean? We got Saturn. He's our monster. He's a monster, but he's winning. Who are you about to help? Like, you can only be helping the guy that needs it, right? So yeah, they already questioning Garp off rip. We got Captain John scheming, trying to do his own thing. I thought Captain John was gonna be better. I've been saying this the whole time. I want to see Captain John. Maybe Captain John's good. Maybe he's actually worth something. Maybe I'm just giving him too much flack, right? Lo and behold, Captain John isn't worth anything. He isn't worth shit, okay? He just has a big mouth, okay? Big eater with a big mouth. He's not worth anything. He can't do anything. He got his ass whooped. He got a booger thrown at him, okay? He got booger bombed and blown up in a comedic fashion, with the whole smoke and he's like all charred out and missing teeth. He might have died here, bro. Let's just keep it real. Gecko Moria found his body underneath the rubble at God Valley, because Captain John he's not worth anything. And of course, it would be the guy who has the devil fruit that belongs to Captain Useless Mid. And you know, that's the name that people gave him. I love it because Kid is really useless. Okay, like I feel like Kid and Captain John both have this devil fruit for a reason. Did they get their ass whooped? And they talk like they're like hot shit the whole time, but they get their ass whooped. I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence. Who knows? But we just saw it play out. He got hit with the red snake, the sky snake red cannon booger bomb. Okay, he's done. So the booger bomb blows up the whole area, and who's in the area now because of the magnetism? Is Dragon holding the baby. He lands on his back holding the baby, but then somehow he ends up holding a log. We're gonna get to that panel later. But as the chapter goes, you know, as I said, the moment is building up for the big three to meet, big attack to go off, because we got Big Mom back over here with Whitebeard and Kaido watching Rocks swing at Emu because he's been just chopping him to pieces this whole time. He's just been cutting them up, you know, left and right. Emu's regenerating endlessly, as we know. So Big Mom sneaking up mad, saying I'm gonna kill you because you took the devil fruit. Everybody just so happens to start doing their attack at the same time, okay? Right? Roger finally caught up. Garp finally caught up. He was on his way there, okay? They all unleashed their attack at the same time. Now, this panel was weird, okay? This panel was a little weird, not in a bad way. I'll explain. The shit's sweet as hell. The weird part about it is the aftermath. Emu didn't just get like disembodied and blown up. Well, I mean, yeah, that did happen too, right? Look, it happened, right? He regenerated, of course, but he did get blown up a little bit. He's gonna regenerate a little bit later. But the weirdest thing about this is like all those attacks seem to like have charged or supercharged like his body with hockey or energy or something. I don't know. Like I don't understand what concept this is working with. I don't think we've ever seen this in One Piece before. This is like in Dragon Ball, if Goku put a lot of ki on his fist. This is like how when Goku punched Broly in the old school Broly movie. You just think about that. He punched Broly in the stomach and he exploded because there was so much energy in his fist. And thus the fist made his body blow up. Like that's what just happened right here, okay? There's so much hockey going on from all these big names and these big hitters, these heavy hitters. And the Dragon's Breath at that. I don't know who, like, I mean, I guess he's not hurting anybody here with that. So they don't even need to worry about the Dragon's Breath. But you got Whitebeard breaking the air, shattering space. Like, that's an explosion, okay? They made an explosion that like charged up. Cause like this sound is like a charging sound. Like zip, 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 zip. It's like charging, bro. Like, and then you see that it's not a normal explosion sound, and it's a pillar of energy exploding. So that's some different shit. It's a blast of hockey. It's knocking people out. So hockey is being applied in different ways already. When we're seeing all these strong people do that. I've never seen nothing like that in One Piece, like hockey making somebody's body do that. So that's already weird, but that's not enough to kill Emu, apparently. Or like hurt his body like permanently or scar him. You know, actually now that I think about it, right? The explosion is kind of where Saturn's face would be. I need to see a panel of Saturn during God Valley, because he does have a scar on his face on Egghead Island, right? Did he get a scar from God Valley? Am I just like thinking too hard? Did he already have a scar on God Valley? Okay, anyway, go ahead. I might have just like made some bullshit up. But anyway, this is what I was talking about, Dragon. He's holding a log now all of a sudden. I don't know how that happened. Who replaced it? Like, who used room? Somebody used room on him, and he woke up as a failure and didn't realize he was holding a piece of wood instead of a baby in his hands. I don't know how you get done like that. Who tricked you like that, man? Like, But anyway, the baby ran off. That's how Shanks ended up in the chest. This is the big question. Okay, actually, let me talk about this for a second. This is the big question we've all been wondering. It's the big moment. Like, how the hell did Shanks end up in that chest? There's only limited options. Like, there's only so many options. But now we know it was complete fumble. Like, he literally fumbled the baby. He got thrown in the air, fell on the ground. By the time he landed on the ground and woke up, the baby's gone. Okay, he fumbled the baby. So we're getting toward the end of the chapter. I'm gonna, bear with me. This is gonna be real short. Okay. So listen, this has come full circle. The argument between Kaido and Big Mom. Yeah, there's still gaps. Mad years. A lot of time we haven't seen them, around each other. But at least it's come full circle. So later on, like when we see them in Wano, when she says, "You owe me," you owe me. I gave you a devil fruit and whatnot. She says stuff like that. Now we know exactly what she's talking about. And now you should know as the reader, because a lot of people like to take people's words verbatim when it comes to things like this in particular too. You should know when somebody says something, it can mean a little bit of something different. So when Big Mom says, "I gave you that devil fruit, you owe me," that's what she's saying to him. Like, he doesn't agree with that shit, but she's like, "No, that's my devil fruit. You took it, pay up." So she's keeping that argument going all the way up into Wano. Just that's how we got it. It's still like that. Oh, they're dead now, so they're not saying that anymore. But it was like that until they died. Okay. So Imu provoking Zebek, saying, "I see the Davies, a woman and a child, striving so very hard to live," and he sees them running away, right? And he's provoking him. He gets rocks off his rocker, okay? He gets him a little tilted. He's mad. He says, "You're not going to do anything." He says, "You're right. I will do nothing." Dame reverse say he hits him with the move. This is what we knew. We knew this was going to happen, okay? It was just a matter of how, and like, I guess kind of like, but really they going to do that to rocks? Like, you kind of doubted it a little bit, but we knew this was going to happen, okay? And there's multiple questions to come from this, right? One, let me get this one out the way first, because before I forget it. This question of like all the people that witnessed this moment and the innocent, like not even innocent, like just the extra bystanders and stuff, right? Because there's other pirates there that aren't really major pirates, right? I'm sure there's going to be other survivors from this island outside of just like literally the main people. Like, if it's just the main people, we're gonna have like a handful of people, like 5 people. So you're telling me, and hold on, I'm digressing. I'm gonna bring it back. Listen, so you're telling me only Rocks, only Roger, Whitebeard, his whole crew, Big Mom, Kaido, and then like 2 other people are gonna make it off the island? No, my point is, now that this has happened, Oda is probably going to have to give us a little bit of an explanation as to why nobody else out of the many people here, no word has gotten out about this shit. Why Imu has not pursued and tried to silence the people who've seen this shit. They've seen him do this. They heard him talk about, "This is my world." They heard him say Davy Jones. They heard him say Moo. I'm Moo. This is me. So Oda's going to have to give us a little bit of a reason as to why Imu has never, ever pursued any of these individuals on the sort of scale that he's making it out to be in the past. Like whenever he hears or sees anybody knows anything, like he tried to kill Sabo right there. Sabo got away, albeit that he got away, but like, he doesn't want anybody to know anything about any of this. Cobra finds out or utters a word or something, he kills Cobra. Like that's the modus operandi right now. So we're gonna need a little answer for that. Also, aside from that whole, I guess, well, people think, what they call retcons immediately. It might be a retcon, might not be. We're gonna find out. But aside from that whole thing, I think that, as far as theories go, I think that it's a really high chance that Zebek is not dead. And yeah, obviously, there's no reason to think he's dead yet, right? We didn't see him die. I'm talking about in the future, though, right? I think there's a chance his body could be on ice. He could still be a servant somewhere, Blackbeard's gonna have to fight him. I don't know, somebody. Like, because I've said this a long time ago. I think that Imu, a part of all those frozen bodies and frozen pirates that have gone, or the pirates that have gone missing and that people have rumored to be frozen, right? On Hazard. I think that Imu, part of his skill set is like he uses an army, or he uses the bodies of ancient people who've been around forever. That's why a lot of the other people around him are seemingly unaging, right? My reason for that theory and that thought is Saturn. Look at the Gorosei. They're all so old looking, and they've been around looking that old for like super fucking long, right? So who knows how long they've been there? Like, look at Garling. Garling was a young dude. He was a young man. He grew up as a boy. Now he's a Gorosei member. He might be stuck looking that old forever now. If he has Imu's power within him, he might be stuck looking that old forever, because as long as he's connected to Imu, he can't die. Imu is making him live. He's keeping him alive. What happened when Imu took away Saturn's powers? He died. He turned to bones. I don't think Imu, he killed him, right? But I don't think he killed him because he did like a physical attack to him. I think just that simple action of removing and stripping the power from him is what led to his death, right? There's nothing else to sustain him. He shouldn't even be here anymore. He shouldn't exist anymore. His time has been done. He's from the past. He's a relic of the past. And Imu's been keeping him around. I feel like it's some shit like that, right? The Rocks, I feel like, is gonna follow within the same boat. And who else? King Harold could. I don't know. We got to get the rest of that flashback and see how that looks, because also I want to say this panel right here, this is how King Harold was looking from the side, if you think about it. I mean, his was way more silhouetted, right? And he had like a bunch of spikes coming out of his body, it looked like. But I mean, hey, what's the difference, right? What if what Imu did was like a different form of Dome Reverse? I don't know. There's too much speculation. Let's stop. Let's pull away from that. But I don't know what else I could say, man. Like, if I think of something else, I will put it in the comments down below. Because I've always been thinking Imu was going to do this to Rocks, or Zebek. I gotta keep calling him Zebek. That's his real name. I've been thinking this could happen to Zebek. It happened. Everybody thought that. But will the fact that Zebek is not really dead at the end of this be true too? Will his departure from the screen, from the story, will it be like kind of obscure? Like, will it be like an Ace death? Ace died. He got a hole punched through his chest. Now, listen, it's a side note. I still think if Oda wanted to, he could write Ace to be not dead. Technically, hear me out, right? He's the son of Roger. The Marines knew that. He died right in Marine base. He got a hole put through him right there. We don't know how strong Dome Reverse is. It could probably, as soon as they get possessed or Imu's power, they could probably heal up immediately. You could probably heal from near death. Who knows? I don't know. And then they put him on ice, frozen. But that's a theory though. I'm bullshitting with that. Who wants to see zombie Ace come back to life and fight Luffy? But anyway, listen, like I said, I think this video is done. I wrapped up everything I need to say. If I think of something else to say, I will put it in a comment. I'll try not to make the comment a paragraph or an essay. But yeah, I mean, it's a good ass chapter, man. I can't wait until the next one. Zebek is going crazy. Teach, I wonder how Teach is gonna remember all of this. We're getting closer to like it's just so many questions. I can't just keep asking random questions here. That's why I said I'll type it, because I also wonder how is Teach gonna know his true history. Who the fuck is gonna tell it to him? I don't think this little ugly baby is gonna be able to remember anything that's going on right now. So how is he gonna know that his father is who he is and what that means? Because he obviously knows what that means when he said, I want to conquer the world. And who's the world? The world is Mu. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, let me know what you think. I'm out.